So I just wanted to do a quick longer term review on this IRC VE33s Gekkota hybrid gummy tire. So here we go. This tire that's currently on my bike that I'm about to take off and replace with this new one is got about 66 hours on it. So I put it on the bike with 13 hours. The bike has 79 hours on it right now. And you can see that it generally, for 66 hours and a lot of rocks, it had kind of a mix of riding, I guess. So I rode it a lot in Michigan, which is a lot of sandy, kind of loamy-ish dirt, nothing too crazy, not a lot of rocks. But I've also put quite a few hours on it in Tennessee and North Carolina, which is some very rocky terrain. So tire wears really, really well if it's not rocky. You can probably get, I would not be surprised if you can get 100 hours on it in Michigan, because the knobs on it are actually very tall. And so it's got a lot of life to go through, and it actually gripped pretty well until probably the last 10 hours, which is where I really started noticing the reduction in grip. Once the knobs started developing these cracks, it really went downhill pretty quickly. But even when the knobs are pretty rounded, because they're so tall, the tire actually grips really well, especially in looser terrain. So as far as handling, I was very, very happy with this tire as an all-around tire. It handles really, really well in the looser terrain here in Michigan, which is kind of important. A lot of the gummies, they have a little bit more of a closed block pattern. Like I have a 505 cheater here on this KTM, so it's a much closer knob pattern, and this doesn't work great in Michigan in the sand. So this tire works really well and it works well in the mud. It works well in just regular dirt, roots, stuff like that. And because of its really, soft, pliable compound, it also works well on rocks. It's got a little bit of a stiffer sidewall, so even though I'm running a really soft mousse, it's super, super squishy. And even though I'm running that, it's still pretty stable at higher speeds. Like if you're riding on real hard pack at like above 35 miles an hour, you start getting feeling a little loosish, but normal kind of sub, let's say 25 mile an hour kind of single track riding, it's very stable. You can rail it into corners, it doesn't fold over or anything. These side knobs actually have a good amount of hold up. So I'm really happy as far as grip, all around grip in different conditions. This tire works really well. And like I was saying earlier, it also wears really well. Despite having all this wear, I think there's only one knob that actually chunked off completely. So these cracks developed in the last 10 hours, and even though it's cracked, it's not like all the knobs immediately fell off. And I rode a bunch of rocks on it very recently. So very happy with it. That's why I have another one here. I'm going to keep running this tire